No more talking ourselves out of it. No more self-sabotage. We're going to start getting things done. Hello family, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 excuses that are killing your momentum. Now, momentum is extremely important because when we have momentum, we have that motivation and that movement to be consistent and disciplined. And we know that if we're going to do anything to be successful, it requires those 2 things, consistency and discipline. And I noticed that whenever we're on a streak, there's always some type of distraction or some type of excuse that comes in to try to kill our progress. And that's how we end up back in cycles where we're procrastinating or we're beating ourselves up because we fell off and we're not where we once were. And so I want to give you some language and some common excuses that you've probably been giving yourself that have been actually killing that momentum. And then we'll talk about how to get that momentum going again. So the first excuse is, if I had more blank, then this would be easier. Now fill in the blank. Sometimes people will say, if I had more money, this would be easier. If I had more free time, if I had better resources, if I had a better environment, if I had a new laptop, if I had the most fancy equipment, then it would be easier. If I actually knew all the things and the plans, this would be a lot easier. Now, honestly, all those things may be true. Sometimes it would be easier if you had those resources, but don't allow what you don't have to stop you from making progress. There's always going to be someone who is doing more with less. And so it's really not an excuse that we want to hold on to, because it will really kill your progress. You might as well expect roadblocks and detours when you're on your way to building any great thing. And so it's very important that you kill this excuse at the root. It's not about what you don't have. You have to use what's in your hands. And honestly, what's in your hands is probably more than enough. You would be very surprised what would happen if you just took what was around you and started moving forward and having that mindset that I'm going to get this thing done no matter what. And when you have that type of mindset, you would be surprised who would even donate resources, or who God could connect you with, the favor that could just be out there just by you using what you have. What you have is enough. The second excuse killing your momentum is, I don't feel qualified for this. Now, how many times have you said this, whether directly or indirectly? I know for me, I used to say this a lot. There were a lot of things that I was called to do that I just feel like I didn't have the qualifications for. I didn't have any experience. I may have had some interest, but it seemed like everyone else who was already in that field was further along than me or just more qualified. And so for a while, I wouldn't step outside my comfort zone, and I would just kind of remain in this place where if I know what I'm doing, I'll do it, but if I don't, I'll leave it alone. I stayed there for a while, and I realized that I got to a very stagnant place. And so maybe that's you. Maybe God is calling you to do something that's outside of your comfort zone, and you're like, God, I just don't feel like I'm ready for this. You're waiting for the perfect timing. You're waiting for these resources. You're waiting for everything for you to study more, to research more, to build more. And God is just saying, just go. You're not going to feel qualified, and that's okay. Being obedient is not about your feelings. It's about being responsive to what the Lord is telling you to do. If we were qualified for everything, we wouldn't need God. That's actually how He gets the glory in our lives, is when we begin to surrender and say yes, even in the midst of us feeling unqualified. The Lord will supply everything that we need. That includes confidence, wisdom, resources, time, everything that you need. It will follow you as you begin to say yes. So even if you're struggling to feel unqualified, like most of us do, don't let that be an excuse that kills your momentum. It actually shows that the Lord is trusting you with something so much bigger when you say yes and you surrender, even when you don't feel like you have all of the qualifications. It doesn't matter how you stack up against the next person or even someone who you feel like is where you're going. It doesn't matter. The Lord's not comparing you. That's just something that we do. When He chose you, He had already known what He put on the inside of you. So go on that journey and allow the Lord to build up your confidence, not only in Him, but in yourself, because you can do it. The third excuse killing your momentum is, I can do this tomorrow. Now, this is something that I heard on another podcast that really checked me, because I feel like this was something I was saying to myself all the time. Even when it comes to making these videos, I was like, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll plan today and do it tomorrow. But really, I had plenty enough time to do this yesterday. And so do you. There are so many things that we put off for tomorrow that we can do today simply because it makes us uncomfortable, or it's going to require a little more time and energy than usual, or really we're just afraid afraid of messing it up. There's so many things that could have gone wrong with recording these videos, but yet here we are making them. And so don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today. Look at your list and honestly ask yourself, how much time is this going to take me? It may not take you as long as you think, and if you have the free time, do it. I always think, whenever I think about doing something tomorrow, I always think about getting gas in your car. If you're an adult and you're listening to this and you know that you've told yourself, I'll just get gas in the morning, you know something always goes wrong in the morning. Either you wake up late, or the line for the gas is extra long, or you spilled something on your shirt and so now you're rushing. When it would have been much easier if you would have just gotten gas while you were already out that evening. Take that same energy and apply it to whatever you're working on. If it can get done today, do it today. And then tomorrow you will have more time to relax or to put into something else. But time is not in our hands. Time actually exists outside of us. So you don't even know if you have the privilege of doing something tomorrow. We live in this world where we start to make all these future plans, but really it's grace and mercy that we're here every day. And so I really want us to start living with a sense of urgency and getting things done, making it a priority when the Lord is telling you to do something. You make a priority when your boss tells you to get something done. So put the same energy into the other areas of your life. So if you've been making any of those 3 excuses and maybe you didn't realize it, you can make a change today. Make a list of the things that you're supposed to be working on. Rearrange your priorities and get moving. Even if you just spend 15 minutes on that task, you would be so surprised how much you could get done with just 15 minutes of focused energy. Look over that list and get it done today. Do not let these excuses kill your momentum. Think about that time where you were really on a roll, you were moving, you were consistent. What did you do to even start that momentum? Go back to doing those things. For me, I noticed that I have a lot of momentum when I'm consistent with planning out my week, right? When I'm consistent with making my to-do list and literally planning in detail out everything that I'm going to do. When I have a list in front of me, I'm going to get things done. But go back to doing the very things that helped you to build that momentum in the first place and keep it going. No more excuses, no more talking ourselves out of it, no more self-sabotage. We're going to start getting things done. So if this video was helpful for you, definitely give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you on the next video.